Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to SpartyHawk Cast. We haven't made a video here in a while, and this is actually pre-recorded. We're going to talk about real quickly tonight. It is a Sunday night, July 12th. We're going to talk about some of our higher-end PSA cards that we had submitted for grading that have returned, and our introduction into the auction house world as we're going to enter 5 cards into upcoming auctions here. I'm not going to yet reveal which auction house we're going to go with, but we are going to talk about the cards real fast. And just a quick backstory, we had a couple Patrick Mahomes cards that we had signed that we sent in, some Vladimir Guerrero Topps Chrome, 50 and a 250 that we pulled. Sparty Jr. actually pulled those, and then we had a 2019 Topps Gary V Pete Alonso card that also Sparty Jr. pulled. And so kind of threw it out there with the Patrick Mahomes cards, made a poll inquiring which auction house these should go to, and basically the decision to kind of go with that poll and that tweet that I sent out was we are kind of getting back into filling up our eBay store again. It's been a while since we've actually really listed anything, mainly because of career and job has been a little overwhelming, and obviously everything going on with COVID-19, family, busy schedules. So, but trying to take the opportunity to load up the store now, and been seeing a lot of information on Twitter, Instagram, and even Facebook on how the eBay store, the sellers really don't get a lot of protection, and there's a lot of buyers out there that pull some hoodwinks, some shenanigans when they're buying and returning cards or items, or 30-day return policy that eBay wants. So it doesn't really protect the sellers very much, and the buyers end up kind of having control of the situation. And I think as a seller, you can't even leave poor feedback for a buyer, but a buyer can leave poor feedback for a seller. So things that I think definitely have to maybe improve with eBay for the seller front. But we started loading up our store again with some graded cards. I mean, we figured we had some graded cards that were available to list. So, LeBron James, some Star Wars cards recently, PSA graded, Beckett graded, some baseballs that are all authenticated through TriStar, and also some football helmets. I'm trying to think, we're going to probably be loading up some bobbleheads, some jerseys, some other things as well, and a lot more cards, some raw cards as well that will probably do well if they're pack pool cards, and so packed fresh, just put into a penny sleeve and top loader. So, but we created this poll basically. I got it right here, just kind of holding it up there. It ended up, when we were posting the Patrick Mahomes cards, which would be a good fit, which auction house would be a good fit. We had on the first poll, Heritage Sports Auctions, Golden Auctions, SCP Auctions out in California, excuse me, and Memory Lane Auctions. And then we set a second poll, which is that one there, just maybe not even a day later, 12 hours later, that included Leland's Auctions, Robert Edwards Auctions, Hunt Auctions, and Love the Game Auctions. And then actually a local auction house, Jeff Logan, who runs Crown Sports Auction, he actually kind of chimed in with Crown Sports Auction. He doesn't have a Twitter page that represents Crown Sports Auctions per se, and these polls can only include 8 people, or 4 people in each poll, or 4 groups in each poll, or 4 selections, I should say. So anyway, going back to the big poll with Heritage, Golden, and SCP, we had 211 votes. I think it was about a 2-day period, or 219 votes, and so 59% picked Heritage Sports Auctions, 37% Golden Auctions, 3% SCP Auctions, and there was 1% for Memory Lane Auctions, which is kind of what we figured. Golden and Heritage are the top dogs when it comes to these auction house businesses. They are the prime alpha dogs. They're the leaders in the industry. Heritage is a lot bigger, I think, physically, with personnel and just their offices down in Texas compared to Golden. But Golden's done a really good job as well of promoting and selling modern day cards, vintage stuff, as well as heritage. So we figured that. On the other poll, only 13 votes for the second poll, but Hunt Auctions received 46% of those votes. Leland Auctions and Love of the Game Auctions received 23% each, and Robert Edwards Auctions received 8%. So, needless to say, pretty much for us was probably between the two big dogs, Golden and Heritage, and so we decided to definitely take our talents to one of those two auction houses. And we appreciate all the auction houses that actually reached out to us. We had about 4 or 5 that they got involved in that Twitter post and the poll, and people were messaging us and everything. So it was interesting to finally have maybe a higher item card or something of value that can actually be warranted or warrant going into an auction house. So depending on which auction and their setup and all that. So I'll start kind of from the bottom up, and this is not necessarily the worst card, but one of the cards that we are going to submit, there's 5, but we're going to submit to an auction house, is this Pete Alonso, and I hope with this light, I hope it doesn't reflect too bad, I might have to angle it, but this Pete Alonso 2019 from the Gary V Topps Direct 360 set. It's a 5 out of 10. I think you can see that down here. It ended up scoring great on PSA especially with that red border where it could show some edging. It scored a PSA 9 with the autograph 10. Now the autograph, I'm going to kind of angle a little bit, maybe you might get some reflection, is a sticker auto, and it's a small auto. It's not, he wrote pretty tiny on the sticker, but he did receive a 10 for that autograph, so that was pretty nice. And the 9 grade, we don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think that's a very fair grade. If you can look, and I know I looked around the edging and I thought, there was a little bit of edging, but you can see on the border here, this red border is a little wider than this red border. So I think the centering was slightly off, which probably led to that 9 grade. So mint grade, it's a beautiful card. It's really cool. This is a population 1. There's only 1 of these that have been graded, none higher. And I can't remember. There's only 5 of this specific card of this red parallel. So this is the only one out there. It's a rookie card. Pete Alonso, home run champion, rookie of the year for the National League. This card will do well in auction. I'm going to guess it will sell for. I'm going to be a little less conservative, but I'm going to think it's going to sell for down, depending on which auction it hits and what time, because of baseball and everything that's going on. And if he does it, like if it's going during the baseball season or after the baseball season, and he does well again with a follow-up sophomore year, or if he's a dud, it could depend. But being a rookie card, I think the value is going to be strong as long as he has a nice sophomore year, doesn't have a sophomore slump. And timing of the auction, but I think this definitely could go for $1,500 to $2,000 or above, this card. Just looking at the comps on eBay, I mean, comparable, there's a lot of different autographs out there, some on cards, some nice, some, one-on-ones, but I mean, some of his cards are going for 5, 6, 10 grand, depending on the card itself, the series. This being pretty unique and diverse with this Gary V. I think I will reach out to Gary V when we get closer to the auction house, because I know he will probably promote the hell out of this to give himself some pub and show. He made the show with one of his cards here. So I don't know if I haven't seen any other Gary V cards in any of those auction houses. I haven't been looking to buy, but usually you would see something floating around on Twitter. So it's a pretty cool card, that Pete Alonso 2019. Next cards we will talk about, and these are beauties, is the Vladimir Guerrero. This is a purple to 250. Our son Sparty Jr. pulled this last summer. Finally sent it in for grading. You can tell this is a perfect GEM MINT10 with a 10 autograph. This is on card. I mean, the auto is crisp, it's solid, no smearing. Beautiful auto. Beautiful card, shine. This comps on eBay probably go about 1,000. I saw, well, listing 1,000. I saw some sold for about 800, maybe 700, but they weren't. This is a population one because it's a PSA DNA 1010. There's PSA 10s out there. I think about 18 others, gem mints, but they didn't get the autograph authenticated or graded. So those are different in the sense, Beckett already automatically grades autographs. PSA, it's an additional service fee that you have to pay for that. Does it enhance the card value if you have a 9 autograph as opposed to a 10 autograph? I don't know. We can say that this is the only one out there right now as a 1010. So this card is, I think, going to be highly coveted. Again, as long as Vlad. This I know is going to go a little bit earlier. This may go August. So this might be in the heart of the baseball season. So if Vlad is doing well, he could potentially have a great, this card could have a great showing in an auction, based on that it's the only one out there. It's a 1010. And it's Vladimir Guerrero, Vladdy Jr., and it's a rookie card. So pretty cool card. Pretty cool to be the only owners of that specific card. Someone on Twitter kind of commented to us about, there's 18 other gem mints. I said, yeah, there are, but this is the only one that has a 10 autograph. There was another one out there with a 7 autograph, or a 9 autograph, I think, but not a 10 autograph. So the only one with a 10 autograph, or it might have been a 7. I remember on one of these cards I saw, it could have been the Pete Alonso. There was a 10-7 or a 7-10. Maybe it was the grade was a 7 and the 10 was an auto. So great card, pretty sweet. Following up with the other Vlad card. This is a gold. And, I wanted to complain about the auto. The auto's a little bit, maybe that streak. He kind of goes, I'm going to hold these side by side. And you can kind of see the difference in the autos. The gold has a little bit of a streak and it's opened up. Maybe not a perfect Vlad Guerrero Jr. auto, but, 9, 10. I guess it warranted the 9. But this was a Gem Mint 10 as well. I couldn't believe these Topps Chrome graded that well, which, I looked at them and they looked really good. And we did another pre-recorded video of all the cards we were sending in for grading, so we'll have to take a look at that when the time comes and kind of compare the two. This is another beautiful card. This is the 50. So that purple one's the 250. This is the 50. This is potentially, this lists on eBay at $2,500 and saw. This is a pop too. There's actually one other person that graded theirs and they have a 10-9 also. They didn't get the 10 auto. So this is the highest graded in that. There's other, maybe on the golds, there's maybe, 5 or 6 other gold gem mints, but none with the dual, with the autograph certified. So a 10-9 is the best you can get in PSA, and that's a population 2. And the one I saw on eBay was selling for $2,500. So I think in an auction house, I think they could probably have, the price could be realized at that amount or a little higher with that. So you never know. Sky's the limit on that, but I think this definitely should go on that Vladdy. If the pop one and he's doing well, I think it could sell for $1,000. This one, I think it could sell for anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe it goes higher. Maybe Vlad's hot, leading the league in home runs. Maybe it goes for $3,000. You never know. But I think $2,000 to $2,500 is realistic on this card as well, being a pop 2. And let's get to the cream of the crop, the 2 big ones, the big daddies. We'll go real fast because I don't want to. I'll just keep talking. We'll go too long here. So this is a Patrick Mahomes 2019 Panini Instant. This was from Player of the Day. They had our local our LCS local card shop, the baseball store here in Overland Park they had won the contest, or a fan of Panini had won the contest through that local card shop, and so Patrick Mahomes came to Kansas. Well, he was already probably in Kansas City because this was after his rookie year, because this was the summer of 2018. I'll show. This is the mint. This is the 9-10. So PSA 9 with a 10 autograph. signed in person. I actually took son and daughter to this, oldest son, oldest daughter, and you know, this was probably helped pay for their college education. They went with to get these signed. We went by the card shop that day, my son and I, and bought a box of cards. And they were like, "Oh, we have 2 tickets left for this Player of the Day party," and they only had 150. So only 150 of these cards got signed, and that's if people showed up. It's the Patrick Mahomes. So this card, there's a 7 out of 10, I think. The only other one graded. No, none of these cards are graded. So it's kind of crazy. At least with the dual autograph and all that. So this is a pop 1, and then we have a 10-10 pop 1. This really, honestly, I looked at this card compared to the Gem Mint. I don't see any flaws on this card. I actually thought this card was better than the Gem Mint, but I don't know policy. I don't know what, but PSA did not give us the double Gem Mints on these, which would have been, you know, and again, grading is subjective, but that decision, that choice by that grader that day, unfortunately, in this day and age, is the difference between thousands of dollars potentially. So it's kind of crazy, but this will do, and the Gem Mint will do fantastic in an auction house sale, and we've been told that, and that's when I put these cards on there and tagged the auction houses, that's when they started reaching out, because they know Patrick Mahomes is hot. This was actually before he signed his $5 million contract, the $500 million man. And, you know, Mahomes coming off a Super Bowl MVP season, bringing the Super Bowl out back to Kansas City after 50 years. These cards are going to be monsters. This 10-10. Again, there's 150 copies of this, and then there's some, I think Panini had like 25, where they marked, you know, 25 on the back, had 25 extra signed, so maybe there's, and those are green bordered, so that's like 175, but again, this is the only one listed, the only pop 1, and I mean, Mahomes stuff is selling crazy. I mean, crazy prices. I'm thinking, and maybe I'm thinking too much, but you know, I'm thinking 10 grand. Let's say 10 grand or higher for this. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 grand is more realistic, but the way prices are going, and this is why I think going through an auction house, you know, we were not going to get 10 grand for this card on eBay, just because sellers fall through, and you know, they want to deal with bigger, you know, unfortunately some of those bigger auction houses on eBay garner more attention and more business, but this will do good in an auction house, and I'm thinking 10 grand and up is what I'm thinking. I'm hoping maybe more closer to 50 grand, but you know, you never know. We'll take what we get. It's going to garner, it's going to have a price realized that I think is going to be fantastic, and follow that up with the only other copy, pop 1 as well. So you have these 2 pop 1s, a 9-10 and a 10-10. I mean, this will bring in a couple thousand. Depending on how well this does, if this pulls 10, 20, 25,000, let's say, easily this could be a $5,000 card, $10,000 card. So potentially big money with these 2 cards here. And we are going to take our talents to an auction house that I think is going to serve us well. And we've actually built a relationship with that auction house, with people through that auction house, connections through LinkedIn, and meeting, you know, going to the National. The first year I went to the National in 2017, just networked, met people. The last couple of years I've been able to work with TriStar, volunteer for TriStar, and always follow up with people at Heritage, and even Golden, but I had some good connections at Heritage, and so kind of giving it away there, but we are going to take our talents to Heritage Auction and look for our cards from SpartyHawk Cash to be listed in Heritage upcoming auctions. And there's a couple auctions coming up. They have a big platinum auction at the end of, I want to say, August, where a few of these cards might make it on there. So we'll see. And then again, we got the Vlad Guerreros. And then there's the Gary V, Pete Alonso. So we're excited. hopefully we'll air this video a little closer down the road or get it on YouTube, and look forward to seeing how our cards do in an auction house sale. So everyone, have a good night. Stay safe. COVID is kind of taking over right now in our country, so I don't have my mask with me, but wear your mask and be safe, and take care. We'll talk to you guys soon. Live video coming soon. Adios.